Have fun with the weekend highlights of the European League of Football, presented by Euronics, proud technology partner of the ELF.
Tobias Bonatti will get the handoff. Tobias Bonatti up the middle. Look out. He is electric. And last week he was uncaged. It looks like there is no putting the cage back on. And they will line up to the top of the screen in trips formation. Strong looking to throw. Guns the ball over the middle. Spectacular catch. And who else but Jarvis McClam? 10 yards back from the previous spot. Seems to be about the 18-yard line. Strong under pressure and dropped. Having trouble picking up wins in the new league this year, but he's decided to stay faithful to the Vikings, and they're very happy to have him around. Well, the first play from scrimmage for the Vikings is almost disastrous. As it turns out, it's not going to be very positive. Chris Helbig brought down in the backfield and he coughed up the ball with some fairly astronomical numbers in that category. Let's see how they fare on a 3rd and 9. They'll put trips out to the near side. Helbig will throw to the single wide receiver out on the far side. Very effective. And a fellow who's been very effective for quite some time now for the Vienna Vikings, of course, dressed in their away whites, moving from left to right. Snapping the ball on 1st and 10. Long ball in the direction of the end zone. Touchdown, Bierbaumer. Oh, my. Well, that's making it look very easy, but Bierbaumer cuts a big figure back there. Well, it's a 50-50 ball. The Raiders will attempt a field goal, which is good. And Summerer will kick off. Jordan Bua will handle the return responsibilities for the Vikings. Look out, if he gets a seam, this will turn into a foot race. He's going to win this foot race. He's going to sprint coast to coast. Jordan Bua goes house. Oh my goodness. Now, to me, it was just a question whether Jarvis McClam or Jordan Bua would bring one back today. There's your answer. Well, in Italy, we know about the Maserati, the Ferrari, and the Lamborghini, but I give you the Bua. That's a real speedster. A good news report to Jarvis McClam checking into the trips formation in the middle, down at the bottom of the screen. And there is Mr. McClam on cue. Oh yeah, he's okay. Strong under pressure. And the purple people eater is going to get him. Jamarcus Henderson. That's going to bring up a 3rd down on the length of an Innsbruck city bus for a 1st down. Who are you going to call? Jarvis McClam. He's going to bob and weave for a fair bit of that 26-yard line. Well, he had Bierbauer and a Vegan in protection, throws up field, and waltzing into the end zone, Weston Carr. Touchdown, Vikings. Who played his collegiate football for Azusa Pacific in, I believe, the final season of collegiate football. A company that does traffic control systems throughout Europe. Next time you're thinking about running through a red light, and the Raiders now have a short field. They're snapping the ball inside the 45, called about the 42. Christian Strong, deep ball, looking for pay dirt, and he gets picked. Xavier Edwards tackled by Marco Schneider, but the X-Man coming up with the pigskin, which would seem to be contrary to common logic. But that's just the way it is. And interesting fellow to listen to as he talked about his life and some other great stories about interactions with the kids, and just a really likable guy. Have become successful somewhere else in Europe first. Speaking of success, this is a homegrown talent, and this is Anton Vegan. You might be able to tackle a vegan that way, but certainly not a vegan. actually encroaching on offense. They're going to let the play go on. The wide receiver down at the bottom of the screen is definitely lined up ahead of the Wilson football. Thomas Bonatti absolutely not giving up. He wants to get that, those are receiving yards. That's something different. Not that Barcelona is in the classification of the Vienna Vikings, but that's a long trip. This is not first-class travel, and this is a first-class touchdown. Adrian Plotzkammer. Good pitch and catch from Strong and Plotzkammer. We got a flag down on the play. Let's see what happened. Their patience and loyalty is rewarded, but a very impressive crowd will have a big red circle around the number 19 in the month of August, as they will look to try to mete out their revenge for the pillaging that took place today from the visitors from Vienna.